Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. So a client asked me, how does the actual tracking system work? How does the payment system work? How does the control system work? So here is a project that is completed, name's gone, so the only person who knows this project is me. So this is just an example. This project was done a couple of years ago, and this is just a valuation. So up to the blue line here, up to this line here, bump, bump, bump. Just want to do one little thing. Okay, we'll go into bump. Okay, up to this section all the way down here. All the way down through this is the actual bill of quantities. This is the price. This is the price from the contractor for the job per element. And this is the basis which we actually use to track the costs. Okay, so now you can see that everything in here is the contractor's tender per item. As he starts to do work, he then gets paid a percentage for work completed. The preliminaries are a little bit different because the startup costs are huge. So as the project goes on, you can actually see that across the project, claim 2 a little bit, claim 3 a little bit, claim 4 he's getting towards the end, so he needs to demobilize. Claim 5 he's finished up. So you can actually see a pattern across these. 50% wouldn't be unusual. And how this is done, I will do a valuation of works, certifier, accountant, the architect or the engineer will actually do certification, and I do this with the builder. I break it down into months. The reason for I break it down into months, then we can see that we're complete. And it's also handy to have, you can also have a cumulative one at the end to make sure that you know that, well, what you'll often find is the contractor will have this cumulative one. So you can make sure that there's your 100%. So he's done 100% across all of these items, and you can do a tracker like that to actually make sure all of the work's done. But you'll actually find that some things won't be done. There will be certain elements where certain elements won't be done or won't be carried out. Okay, so and you can see here only 50% of this was done, because the rest of this work was handled elsewhere as in a variation, and then this was discounted off. So you need a large screen, you need to do it per month and per activity, and that way you have a cross-reference of activities and timeline, and you can examine this over time. You will also see, as we go down the bill of quantities, you'll see that the bill of quantities tends to mirror the stages where construction is done. So you can see in the first month all of the demolitions is done. Okay, then you can start to see there was very little foundations done here. There was none actually, that was called off. Then you can start to see masonry work and adjustments being done a little bit further down the road. And what's really important is these. We have rates per activities, and these rates end up being the basis for variations and examination and verification of variations. I'll talk to you about variations in a while. So you see all the activities, and this is a representation of, in tabular form, of all that is in the drawings and specifications. And that's one of the core duties of a cost consultant, quantity surveyor, economic, engineer, whatever language you put on people like me, and then we factored this across the time. So you can see percentages over time, you can see work done over time, you can see when it was claimed. So it's a tracking system. That is what it is. It's a tracking system over time that allows us to examine it. Okay, and then over time you can see the tracking system, you can see what was done, and you got a controlled system. When we come down towards the end, you will then see per month, claim 1, claim 2, claim 3, claim 4, and claim 5. You will see different claims per month. Then retention is taken off, usually 5%, not 10, but this was a commercial fit out project, so that tends to be different. Then you have a subtotal, so this is all work completed in that given timeline. Then you take away the retention, which the homeowner holds on to, or the institution holds on till practical completion, which is where it's ready for handover, but there still may be some snags. Practical completion means that certifications have to be given for plumbing, electrics and mechanical. So there has to be certifications given. In other words, all the systems have to be working, otherwise it cannot reach practical completion. Then we have the subtotal here. Then we have the VAT at 13.5%. Where that was. Sorry about that, folks. And then we have the claim. Same here. And then you can track the claims, and you can also track the retention money, which half is given back, and the other half is kept for 6 months or for a year. So there you can see the retention, and I've worked out half the retention to give it back at the end of the period. So here is some variations. Removing the walls, demolitions. This is demolitions done. This is the variations done. This is the month when they're done. This is the percentage which they're done and they're being tracked. Once again, you can see these figures. So when we come back here, so you see this demolitions, or this figure here, variations. Okay, so you can see that that's the total, but you can see this here is done in the first month, and in an effect this will then be in this sum here, so this total here ends up, this total here ends up coming back in to here, right there. That sum there is this sum here. So this document relates back, and then you get the monthly valuation of works that is then certified. At the end of a large job, you're going to actually have a reconciliation between Windows PC sums, profit and attendance, actual difference. So that's a saving. So some of these are going to be savings for the client, some of them are going to be extra, and you go through the figures and you balance it out, and then you can actually see the amount, and it's all reconciled. It's all reconciled out, and I think myself and this builder, we ended up at around 36 cents out. So we adjusted the figures to account for 36 cents. And that's where you kind of want to get to. You want to work with a good builder, you want to have clarity, you want to have tracking, really important as far as I'm concerned. You want to have tracking per month, because I'm doing one job at the moment and the quantity surveyor is sending it over. He just keeps using one figure and adding more percentage on it, but then I can't see what he is claiming for, so then I need to break it out to check it and to analyze it. and then I'm getting lump sums. I'm getting a lump sum from him, rather than he's trying to put the onus on me to do the figures. Maybe he wants me to make a mistake. Maybe that's the way he does it. I don't know. But you need to cross-reference it. And the homeowner said to me, that's unacceptable, send it back to him. I said, no. I want to control the documents. I want to be able to analyze them. I want to be able to structure them. I want to have a system with traceability, and I don't mind whichever way it gives me the information. If it means more time, I will put it into a traceable system, and for me that's of huge importance. So he was actually adding up. Instead of claim 1, he just had a cumulative and a cumulative totals. But he wasn't even then taking away how much was last certified. So he was kind of putting it all in my head. And that's fine. That's fine. A little bit unusual, because then it slows up the process, takes me longer, his builder doesn't get paid as quickly. But then I had to break it out per month. I had to analyze it. And then I analyze every single individual bit to make sure he's not overpaid. And a tiny little bit overpaid is usually leveled out with the next month. Let's say there's 80% plasterboard's up and I put it at 85%. What you tend to find is the next month that work will be done anyway, and he may say to me that there's 60% plastering done, and I think, no, it looks more like 55. So there's swings and roundabouts, and that doesn't necessarily matter as long as you have a control system that you can glance at per month, and you can actually see. And this this project actually needed reconciliation report to it as well, to align all of these figures back. So that is where we are, and here's just a practical completion and the half the retention going back to the homeowner. Okay, so that's those figures there, and you can see these are from line items up here. Everything comes back and is interlinked. So you can, by clicking on this Excel cell, it's late on Friday, I'm doing good to say that. So you can click back on it and see where it is. Okay, thanks very much. Really appreciate your time. It's the most precious thing we have, so thanks for sharing it with me. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great